Hello everyone, hi, welcome, thank you for being here. We're gonna do an In the Creek Tarot Oracle reading. I'm gonna give you a little backstage peek at what's going on here and how good Rose is being for this reading today. So this reading is timeless and collective. See what feels like it resonates. Always follow and trust that divine guidance that is in you, to your higher self, to God, to source, to the universe, says, because the answer is in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition, so your decisions are sound and based in love for the highest, greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's start with the Oracle of the Mermaids and see what the foundational message is. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. What is the opening message to know about today, please and thank you? Somebody's reclaiming their authenticity. Someone's stepping back into power, getting in the driver's seat, owning who they are becoming. The Silky and her skin. Somebody's becoming more comfortable in their skin with their own vibration. I do feel like something is changing and getting bigger. Maybe somebody's even doing a glow up. And this could be all over changes in somebody's life. This could be changes in an environment, what you pursue, what you do, what you put your energy into. I'm getting that you're turning heads, or whoever this is able to walk in a room saying nothing but they're felt. I feel like there's almost like an energetic imprint of beautiful energy even left behind. Because I see like this trail of energy that just kind of lingers. So maybe this is somebody who also empowers others to speak their truth, own their authentic nature. Because if somebody was inauthentic or wearing a mask or not speaking their truth or always trying to satisfy others or people please, this is somebody who kind of isn't worried about that anymore. This is somebody who is worried about living in the energy of God, of spirit, truth, light, and maybe being more in tune with their higher self, whether this is you or someone else. I feel like I'm getting that like kind of snake kind of energy, like something needed to shed its old skin. So, you see that old you, that past situation, that past whatever that you have grown out of. You're not gonna look at that gross skin on the ground, hi babe, and like crawl back in it, be like, maybe it'll fit today. No, it's gonna look gross. So this is somebody who recognizes that what they are embodying now or becoming over cycles, progression, chapters, is even more twinkly than what they were. So I am getting that this is maybe going through a situation, but it's also strength somehow. So it could be a weird situation that somebody really like transmuted that energy and made it a strength, got back up, dusted themselves off. But I also feel like there could have been beautiful situations that helped illuminate somebody different, inspire them. So that being said, let's see what this is the Love Oracle. Let's see what messages would be helpful from the Love Oracle today, what you need to know. Let's ask why this transformation is happening, why this new strength is being embodied. Tell us about the Silky and her skin, this energy of true authenticity, which is an extremely high vibration. It's where you speak and you live and you embody your truth. What is the biggest message to know today? Well, that would be authentic. You have music coming in. Maybe some of you express yourself through music, or there's something about a musician or music that helps empower you. I don't know why is that Christina? Makes me a little bit stronger. Like something like that. It's a musician. I just saw that energy of shedding your skin. It is the snake charmer, but that's like But I'm getting that this is charming. It feels like charisma. Because if somebody is singing and they're all auto-tuned, there's something that feels artificial. It's not really, you can hear something that's like, oh, that was nice that the AI made all those notes come together, but that's not like hearing a musician live and raw and real and messing up and singing their heart out, where it's like, oh, you're not going to get that, even just saying that gave me the chills. You're not going to get that from the AI. You're not going to get that feeling that our soul resonates to from auto-tune. But when you hear somebody live or a recording that's really real, and it is just like, oh, it has the power to heal. You can feel it on your body. Have you ever been to a concert and somebody hits a note or says something and your whole body just has these tingles? That is you getting that energy, and it's affecting your body. Some of you aren't playing your instrument or going out to karaoke or singing in the damn shower. It's time to do it. If you have any kind of musical drive in you, it doesn't matter if you're tone deaf, sing your little ass off in the car. It's you really being in tune with your soul. When you have the energy of music and meditation are the only two things that fire up both hemispheres in your old noggin, where you are in the now. You're not worried about what's ahead, that high note coming up, and that stumble you had getting up to the stage. You're just in the moment. And it's getting that natural inspiration from spirit where you don't even know where it came from. You don't even know how that note came out of you. If you have your guitar, in its case, it's time to take it out and look at it so you see it there to practice. Pull your trumpet out from under your bed. If some of you have a desire to learn an instrument, you're never too old to learn, to start. Maybe now is the time. Maybe you're, secretly a genius on an instrument, but you never let yourself see if you could do it. Maybe for some of you also, you started lessons or you started something, but you weren't playing the music you love that calls your soul. So maybe switch your style up. Also, maybe some of you are getting synchronistic messages in songs. They take you to a certain memory, a certain person, or they embody a certain energy that does feel healing to you. Harmony and melodic. If anything is out of harmony or not in tune, it's like that one weird string or that one person in the choir that sings really loud out of tune, but they still want to be louder than everyone else. It's like it sticks out in a bad way. So maybe it is where you sing like a choir, you sing in harmony. Everybody has their own part, but everyone needs to blend together. And maybe that's not for you. Maybe you're the solo. Maybe you're the one in that spotlight, but you still have musicians behind you. You still have an audience, there that you're going to connect to. Even if it's an audience of one, even if that audience is you in your bedroom mirror, because you love it and you're shining that spotlight on yourself in your bedroom because you just love to do it. And that doesn't have to be music for some of you. It can be you painting. It can be you, I don't know why I see you calculating something. Maybe you're really good with numbers. Maybe you're good on computers. Whatever it is where you're in, your element. Also, for some of you, you do have some unfinished business with a certain person, or maybe it's that trumpet underneath the bed. There's something you need to get back to. There's something that was, you started to write, you started to experience, and then it just stopped. It halted. You got busy. It's not over. Patterns, back and forth, and it's baggage. So maybe somebody had to drop the old skin, become more authentic, drop the baggage of what was weighing them down, even if that baggage is somebody's mindset saying, no, that'd be too heavy. No, that'd be too hard. No, that'd make too many changes. Or, nah, I'm probably not even talented, or I probably couldn't even do it. Nah, get out of the nads and say, yeah, you can. Why not? Maybe somebody was having doubts because others were placing doubts. Like, oh no, it's way too hard to do that. You can't start to play the violin at the age of 52. You have to start when you're a kid. It's incredibly hard. So you never tried. Try. Maybe this is somebody that has an apology or coming, we're going to take this, I'm going to pull another card, coming back from the past. Maybe you know there's something that was unfinished. I looked at it. I try not to look because then I have to say it. Maybe somebody is tuning into their intuition here. It's a gut feeling, it's a knowing, it's feeling that energy, sixth sense. Maybe some of you even had a premonition or a dream. I'm even getting that some of you might, if you dream of music, you are definitely supposed to be connecting to music somehow. I feel like some of you have written songs in your dream. Maybe they're supposed to actually come out on paper or be heard so it can heal, even if it's just healing you. Also, trust your gut feeling if somebody feels like they're inauthentic, because you have tarot cards here, which is that neutral energy. So if somebody's intentions are to get you to buy a love spell or make you be in doubt, or they have anything where it's a lower vibration and not for the highest and greatest good of all and connecting to source, then it can be insight that comes. And if you feel off, if it makes you feel drained or weird or confused or scared, it's not a high vibration. It can be misinformation, but it could also be where that truth sometimes is not the easiest thing to hear. It's not always what you want, but it's gonna be what expands you, what makes you stronger, maybe what makes you question something. Maybe some of you had misinformation to get you to use your gut to say, no, you know what, my gut is right. And you have that dichotomy of energy, so you learn to trust yourself. Because the answer is not out there. That's why even in the tarot readings I have here, I try to teach you to be empowered. You to trust your discernment to know what resonates with you and what doesn't. And sometimes when you get that energy, that's the weird energy or a weird situation, that's to get you to question. Why does that make you feel uncomfortable? Why is that triggering to you? What is it that you maybe have never looked at that is making something feel strange or feel amazeballs in your soul? You need to be the one to question all that. Because these are just little catalysts. They're little signposts. They're little clues. You need to take those clues and go on your own treasure hunt. So if you feel like information comes through and it uplifts you, it inspires you, it gets you thinking, it makes you feel expansion, or it takes you into that treasure hunt to figure out the answer that is in you all along, when you commune with your higher self, with God, with the universe, then that has its purpose. So I'm not gonna look. Let's take that. Let's get you another card. Let's ask about this intuition. Why is intuition coming in? And I'm getting that it has validity also. I don't think it's just intuition and it's just ending at that inner knowing. I feel like that unfinished business energy here is you're going to get confirmation. And it doesn't mean you have to prove it to anyone else to get confirmation from spirit, whether that's repeating patterns or synchronistic events, or you dream something and it comes true, or you kind of got a gut feeling about a person and then, you know, the true colors were shown, or you had an understanding about another connection and you don't know why it's so special, why it's so true, why it's a bond, and yet you just know. I feel like you're gonna have messages that come through where you really get confirmation for yourself, where you know that thing has now been validated, you know, as within, so without, big time. So let's get you another one. Clarity on intuition. Let's ask what the intuition is about. What is this intuition all about for the collective? Please and thank you. The intuition that there's a reason you needed to learn to be by yourself, to love your alone time. It's also where you need to know when to guard yourself and when you need to break down those walls. I feel like this is owning, like, own it, you know? This is owning who you are, whether you're with another person, whether you have unfinished business from your past or coming back, or whether this is just you as an individual, as a single and solid soul. Maybe there's somebody also that you had a situation with, and maybe even psychic insight on, and maybe that person had to tie up some loose ends or end a situation to come to you single. Maybe now some of you are, you know, making some closure in a situation, and you're hitting, you know, the single department here. But I feel like even if it's a little strange or a little weird, I feel like you're going to feel better about it. But I do feel like for a lot of you, this is about somebody else coming into your world single and available, like totally ready to pursue and be all in. But if there is somebody that is lonely and they are searching for somebody else out there, I looked at that, to bring happiness in, you know, to give them their shiny skin, then I feel like that is something that needs to change. Somebody needs to elevate out of that and perhaps spend some time doing some things that they love to do to learn who they are, who they want to become. Because how do you expect somebody else to come into the picture and, you know, really love to be there, to get to be in your energy when you don't even want to be in your own energy? It would be short-lived. Even if this is somebody who's in a partnership, but they always feel alone, they don't feel like they're on the same page, you can feel lonely and be with somebody else or be in a group. But I do feel like something is coming through where it's getting to spend time with yourself, or maybe it's getting to spend time with somebody else after they elevate, after some changes come through. So somebody not in caterpillar mode anymore. They've broken out of that dark cocoon, that period of confusion, and they've elevated. They've also landed on this flower of nectar. So maybe it's elevating and then grounding your energy, or getting nutritious energy from your environment or the people you are around or what you do. It's regeneration, growth, metamorphosis, and cycles. So if you have this back and forth energy, that's kind of like the swing, back and forth. A cycle is where something comes full circle, maybe completes, and then I'm getting that get off the carousel energy. You know, get on that stallion instead and start running into that field of expansion. Being able to hop over the fences or the hurdles or the trees that fell down on your path. There's something about that horse energy now where it's in tune with the elements of nature. You know, if you're here in the woods and there's a tree that falls down, your big Hummer probably can't get over that tree nor get through the, you know, the narrow pathway. But a horse can jump over it. A horse can go around and find a different way. So there is something about saddling up, but also being in the right environment. If you thought that something was difficult, you're going to get through it easier. I'm also feeling like your horsepower's changed. You know, you're really like ready to like what's that, like bucker up. Metamorphosis. You know, the only thing that is consistent is that everything is going to change, but it is about cycles. So let's get you some more clarity. I'm going to organize this so they don't fall off the rock, and I'll be right back. All right, so looking at my little box here, it was the tea leaf that was twinkling right now. So let's get you just some bonus extra messages that would be helpful today, or to look towards, or to know about. Tell us more about what the collective needs to know to be helpful. Please and thank you. You got a throne coming in because you're authentic, because people see you as valuable. They want to work with you. Maybe this is you sitting on your own throne, taking those opportunities, you know, that feel righteous to you or right to you, position of authority. So this is where you should be in charge of yourself. Your position of authority is probably not to be overpowering or overbearing or orchestrate somebody else's independent journey. This is about your journey. But I do feel like some of you are going into a position of power because you're respected, because you are wise, because you have balls, because you say yes, because you are I'm kind of, I see with this, this and the intuition, you're able to turn on a dime, or I feel like you're able to morph something when changes happen easier than others who would maybe get stuck. I do feel like some of you are getting a raise, leveling up, but I feel like for some of you, this has to do with something you're doing independently more than with a lot of other people. Maybe you're working on a project by yourself that no one knows about. I stared at that. You will be receiving or giving a precious gift. Take that, the diamond. The only way to cut a diamond is with a diamond drill. So the only thing hard enough to make those beautiful facets, to make that diamond shine, is with another diamond. So maybe you are looking at something multifaceted. Maybe somebody is giving you a diamond. Maybe somebody is giving you a gift that is precious to you, even if it's small and it's handmade. Maybe that precious gift is a moment or an experience. Maybe that precious gift is a burst of wisdom or inspiration to help you to change. What else would be helpful? I don't want to drop, I'm trying to hold the whole deck, but I don't want to drop them in the water. A gavel. So maybe some of you have to like make a solid decision. It says involvement with the law. Maybe that's the law of gravity. Maybe that's universal laws. Maybe it's the actual law. Maybe it's just jury duty. But maybe somebody, I mean, you do have single. Maybe there was a situation where somebody had to like get a divorce or null and void some kind of contract, something like that. I'm even seeing that could be, I hear fine print. Like looking at the fine print of something that was signed, I feel like there can be an amendment or a change. For some of you, I do feel like if you have something, I mean, you have a gift that came in right before that, and you have a position of authority. So maybe if some of you are doing something with a contract or some kind of legal battle, legal situation, it's having the right mediator, the right lawyer, the right help to, I feel like something's going to be smooth. I'm just seeing that silky in her skin. And I feel like it can be a lot easier if you have the right person in your corner. I also feel like you're going to have success in a situation, and I feel like it's going to be fair. I am seeing that it just had to be seen in a different facet. But if maybe somebody was, I just see that diamonds are a girl's best friend video. Maybe if somebody was all about the diamond is not the rarest. It is strong, it is beautiful, but it's definitely not the most rare gemstone. It's actually pretty abundant. I'm even seeing that somebody had the diamonds, but it was more like the man-made diamond than the natural. Like now I see a raw diamond, real thing, but maybe it's about something that's actually more valuable being, I just see like a flower. Maybe it's something that's simple. Maybe it's not about the money or value of something. Maybe it's about the value, but not the money. It's sort of what I see. I just heard Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Also Lucy, interesting. Lucy is short for sometimes Lucifer, which is the, what's that, the morning star. Just gonna let you go down that rabbit hole. But maybe it is about the light being dimmed or devalued somehow because, I don't know, I don't know, I see shade now. Maybe something had all the potential to be bright and brilliant, but there was constant shade put on a situation, or maybe that's just an energy. I'm not sure why that came through now, so let's just get another one. What's another message, please and thank you? Well, out of the shade into the sun. Also, you know, when you have the biggest light, it will make the biggest shadow. So maybe it is about facing the shadows. Maybe the sky is clearing and somebody is now focused on positive changes of happiness and health and well-being. Maybe somebody is really doing some metamorphosis in their life, recognizing that that is a gift from God. God wants you to thrive. God wants you to be happy. God wants you to be around healing, helpful, vibrationally magnificent energies, because that's gonna like merge and morph into your vibes. If somebody's always shining shade, or I don't know, I just heard unnatural attachment, I don't know what that is, then I mean somebody's body or their well-being can be turned into stress, stagnancy, even illness. Because I see something building up. I feel like somebody is making healthier choices. Somebody is following the desire to have joy. Your God-given right to be happy. Let's get another one. One more, please and thank you. It's interesting that I saw, what is that? I should have said material girl, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. This says plenty of material things. Maybe it's that energy of abundance, or one piece of rotten fruit can spoil the bunch. Material things are beautiful, but if that's somebody's worth or that's somebody's complete focus, material things can go away in an instant. This is the energy of abundance. That's why material things come in. That's why that flow of exchange of energy, whether that is money or energy, comes in so naturally when you know there's more than enough for all of us to have. So maybe it is about giving without the understory that you will get back. It's just giving to give because you want to give, and it will come back because now the vibration is true and real. A bowl. Also, I don't know why I just thought of a birth chart. Maybe some of you look at your birth chart. There are, I think it's like a seesaw, a bowl. There are different patterns on your birth chart where, depending on how a bucket, I think a bucket is another one, how your planets are placed. So I think my birth chart is kind of a bowl, actually, where you only have your planets in one hemisphere, wherever it is. And then you have an entire part of your chart that's just empty. I think the bucket is where you have most of your planets on one half and one planet on the other half. And then there's like the seesaw or something where you have it kind of sporadically placed. Maybe look that up on your birth chart if you're interested in astrology, because it's like another facet, these are diamonds, that most people don't look at. Also with the diamonds, I'm thinking of deacons. So do look at the decan of, so it's in a third of where your rising sign is placed. So if you were at the first part, the first decan, I think I'm saying that right, of your rising sign, whatever that is, that means one thing, the last means something else. So like my rising sign is Pisces, even though I am a Virgo. That in itself is a conundrum. But I think I'm in the last decan, like the very last sliver before it goes into Aries. So maybe look that up. That's like getting, further detailed into your birth chart. Woo, I almost lost the cards. So let's get you one more. What is one more that would be helpful right now? Please and thank you. Woo, we got a lot of passion. You got some fire. I mean, you do have the sun. Wait, I'm going to put all of these back. What's that? I looked a rainbow. The most difficult part of a situation is about to be over, which means if that sun is coming out and it's still raining a little, or there's twinkles of that moisture in the air, then you get to see the rainbow. You have a strong emotional situation here that you are even feeling in your gut, in your soul, or maybe somebody comes back into your life and that passion, that fire was always a kindle, but it never really went out. But it says passionate love, or the word I won't say. So it could be where somebody just has, foul energy. If somebody's like hating on somebody, that's just shining their shade on somebody else's light. That's somebody that's jelly of what they don't have. That's somebody in the energy of lack. So maybe that's being turned around, because I feel like for you, somebody has that passion. Or for you, it's you diving into your passion. And it's a strong energy. So if it comes from spiritual energy, that fire is not going to go out. For some of you, that is what you have to get back to. You keep thinking about that thing that you started, but you have to take initiative to do it again. So, what do we do next? Let's go, I'm grabbing the tarot. So let's go to the tarot. What is this one? This is the Wizard's Tarot. I used to use this all the time. I haven't used it in a while. Ooh, you're so close to the cards, Rose. You are so close. I gotta take a dip. It's so hot out. Like, cool down my body. Welcome, by the way, if you're new here, to the probably the weirdest tarot readings there are. Let's see what you would need to know. I feel like we just need to go general and see what comes out for you. I can't do the flipping cards thing, or they're just gonna flip right into the creek. So let's just see what the main energy to know about for you is. Please, the Emperor. Okay, well, you have a pretty powerful energy coming through. Maybe the Emperor is about to become single. Maybe the Emperor is laying down the law, or the Emperor's had a little passionate fire lit in his soul, or sees that he or she has to take initiative and action to create a kingdom of happiness, well-being, joy, and passion. The Emperor is sitting on a map and holding a sphere. There is the northern lights outside. So maybe it's also your north node. We did get in a little astrology, so maybe look at what your north node is, because that's kind of like your destiny. I kind of see south node as more like your karma, what you're growing out of, what you're learning because of. But it's that star that you're reaching towards. So if the Emperor, let's just look quickly, it was upside down. Maybe the Emperor was in caterpillar mode, stuck in 3D land and worried about the diamonds and the material things, because he does have the capacity to sit in that throne of success, regardless of whether he's in tune with his intuition and his higher self or not. Because the Emperor is a strong energy. But there's always that kind of hollow unhappiness when the next goal doesn't really bring the satisfaction, when the next hot car, is fun to drive for a little bit, and, the next level on their job or what they create is supposed to bring all that happiness. And it's always like there's always that desire for something else that they never find the real happiness. They think the goal is, and it gives them a little, like a burst, but then it's always kind of unfulfilling unless the Emperor is the divine masculine and taking that initiative to really create the changes that are necessary in his or her life, following his intuition and rebuilding a kingdom if he has to, starting a new kingdom if he has to, or realizing brick by brick, step by step, what needs to change in the unfoldment or as something builds. Because this is somebody reevaluating what they were working on. This is somebody looking at their plans and they're like, was that growing? Does something need to change in the soil? Does, do they have to be a little patient and wait for another season? I feel like there was a season and something was missed. This person is standing on this stick to try to support themselves, but it doesn't look like they're ready to, pluck those pentacles. It also looks like it's ready to fall away, because I feel like this is already changing color. So if somebody leaves those pentacles, those, pieces of fruit on the bush for too long, it's just going to get soggy and gross. You have to know when is the harvest season. Pluck it now or lose your chance. But it's also recognizing that you don't want to force that garden to grow faster than it is naturally supposed to. So maybe this is somebody who's reevaluating growth that is happening or growth that is not. What to do to make changes so the next season can be better. Let's take that and ask about the Seven of Pentacles and the Emperor. What else? Guess what you got? Transformation. This literally is transformation. Somebody's tapping into heavy Scorpio energy. Also, learning how to work smarter, not harder. Not having to be the only one that carries all that luggage, all that baggage, all that heavy energy where you can't even see in front of you, where things are dropping all around you. I feel like this is somebody cleaning up a mess, because I always feel like this is like the hoarder's house and somebody comes over and they're like, ooh, you don't need half of this stuff. Do you even know you had that? And like streamlines it. So now you can actually see what you have to work with. Now it's just an energy, you know, but it's somebody who thought that they had to do something the hard way, and that's not true. Maybe there's even helpful energy right around somebody, but they have to ask. This could be somebody this is definitely that coming out of the cocoon. Somebody has to maybe go into that cocoon or be in the tunnel to see the light at the end. Sometimes you don't have that expansiveness in your soul unless you hit the dark night of the soul and you really face those shadows. It does not mean transformation is easy, but it is necessary. You know, this is upside down. It's somebody like trying to get back in that old skin that doesn't fit anymore. This is where something is done, or it really needs to be. Even if it's done, it is done. But it could be somebody mentally not wanting something to be done, so they're tethering themselves to that past. No, I really want to be the caterpillar. I was so happy eating all those leaves, crawling on the ground where it was taking forever for my soul to grow, but that's what I know. No. And if somebody is, and keeping their, you know, their foot half in the past, they're not going to see that growth. They're not going to have that transformation in their life. This is somebody who, without a doubt, just knows in their gut, where's that? It needs to happen. It's time to change. Sometimes those changes come in somebody's life and you're forced to do so. Sometimes it is self-transformation and it is a choice. Sometimes it's a merge of the two. Oh, it's not even transformation. It's even better. It's transfiguration. So you are taking an energy you went through and you're creating something different. You're taking those lemons, not even making lemonade, but you're making it a milkshake. You know, you're changing something, or you are changing into what nobody expected. Not even you. It could be somebody coming back, transformed, totally changed. Trust your gut on that situation. You have this halo of illumination around you. Even the flames of the candles don't look like they're an actual flame. It looks like spiritual light. The white rose. I have a white rose. And there are 4. So there is something about this transformation, maybe opening up a door, opening up a window of opportunity, but also creating new stability in your life. With the allowance to let something go, let the baggage go, do something a different way. It doesn't have to be so heavy. This is someone that just believes they're the only one that can do it. They're in the position of authority. They are the emperor or whatever, you know. And, you know, it has to all be their duty to do something. Well, if the emperor is around a lot of people that always want him or her to always be in charge or do everything, then maybe the emperor is delegating duties differently. So other people have a chance to be a support to him. And if there is no support there, maybe it's completely changing that environment, having an ending of something that was really heavy to have a new beginning that is that Ace of Rods and that spark of passion and that creative energy and that force, that, you know, that pull in your spirit to begin again. I always see this as well as somebody like realizing like, you know, I was carrying all of that load, all of that weight by myself. Why didn't I use the wheelbarrow that was over there? It would have been so much easier. So if somebody's learning a lesson, it's doing something when a hard situation comes differently than you did it in the past. But sometimes that takes inner reflection, to see something from an outside perspective, to look at what you went through and be non-resistant to changing something up from how you always did it, so that I feel like you feel lighter about those decisions. So let me put these here because my cards are all over the place, and let's just pull you a few final messages from the mystery deck. Hold on. Okay, bonus messages from the mystery deck for you. What would be helpful for the collective to know on reclaiming your authenticity? Transfiguration, change, regeneration, metamorphosis, passionate energy, unfinished business, the sun, the gavel, the diamond. There's so many cards here. What is an extra bonus message helpful for the collective to know? Wow, we have all these changes. And I did see the caterpillar eating all the stuff. Maybe some of you just need, that's very specific for some of you. Change your diet. I did see the nectar. Are you putting nourishing, where's your bowl of fruits and vegetables and beautiful colors, that are the vibrations of nature. Just think of all those colors from different vegetables and things being vibrations, that are put into your body to circulate in your cells to create this nutritious energy, instead of, the fake flour or, the boxed goods that have absolutely no nutritional value. Maybe you're just even switching up some things that you sort of liked, but you're finding another way to make it healthier. Like, I don't know why, I just thought of if your kids like macaroni and cheese, but they don't like the vegetables, maybe you're slipping the peas or the broccoli and the macaroni and cheese. There's a way to make some changes. For some of you, a small change in your diet might make a huge difference in your health overall, but also I'm getting in your energy. Maybe there's something you're even allergic to or something like that, and you don't even know that's draining you. What else would be helpful for the collective? That's what I saw before. When someone's like, no, they can't have that dream, or no, they can't make those changes. Yes, you will be able to make those changes. Yes, you can have that happiness and energy. You do have the energy of well-being. Yes, you can transform and change. Yes, you can be your authentic self, and you will connect to the right people that groove with who you really are. You have to change your mindset from that lack mentality to like, yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. High five, fist bump. You're gonna do it. What else? What else would be helpful for the collective to know? What is this one? It's sticky. If you're holding on to the past, or there's somebody that's holding on to something too tight, you're tethering the natural transformation or the natural room something needs to grow to be in manifestation. And that could be just where you're focusing your, energy. It could be the law of detachment. Once you forget to put your energy into something, once you put your energy into it and you just let it go, let it flow, all of a sudden it's that circulating energy that just comes back to you like nothing, because you're not energetically attached to it. Maybe it's about a win-win. You do have that gavel. I did see something being fair. Maybe there is a way for something to be a win-win. Maybe if something doesn't ever feel like a win-win and it's always lopsided or imbalance, maybe you give that win-win to yourself. Maybe this is a win and another win, but you're going in that direction of happiness and joy where you do feel like it is a win to have the experience. Yeah, let's take that. And is there one more? Please and thank you. Is there one more that would be helpful for you to hear? Hold on. Let me show you what this is, because I want to show you where is it? Where's your seven? That Seven of Pentacles, wherever it went. That's the patience. Having patience as the garden is growing, having patience with changes happening in you within something else. I don't know where it is. It's here somewhere. Here. Be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day. That kingdom takes a brick by brick, experience by experience situation. Please be patient. There's a flower. Wait, hold on. I don't know where these come from. I feel like they always come through in these readings. Please be patient. Big changes are hard. So maybe that's what you need to hear at the end of this. Whether that's your own changes happening or a situation or somebody else's. Just be patient. Big changes are hard. You know, it's not easy. But it is worth it. So with this, I bid you adieu. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving this video a thumbs up and for being part of my soul family, our journey together. I love you and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye.